Welcome everybody to this, your favorite program on the net, Business Intelligence. This is your host, Jonathan Diolio. And today we're going to be talking about culture, about human resources and leadership. And for that, we have a very special guest with us, Luisa Guzman. Welcome, Luisa. How are you?
Thank you, Jonathan.
It's a pleasure to have you.
I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad to be here with you.
Beautiful. No, that is reciprocal. You're one of those persons that has it in their determination to today be better than yesterday, but not better than tomorrow. I think that should be the trend to follow. Beautiful.
It definitely. We use a term called we inspire change. We like to be the catalyst of change. And the change is a word that scares some people, but in reality, it's not that, we should not be afraid of change. Change should not have a negative connotation. On the contrary, I have a saying that if you change a small thing every day, at the end of a year, you have changed 365 things about yourself.
Wow.
And it can be anything, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you go into your car, the way you talk to your children, to your spouse. The idea is to look for that small but meaningful change that you can make on a daily basis to be better.
Most certainly. In other words, if you have a huge T-bone steak before you, you cannot eat it in one mouthful. You have to slice it and dice it in bite-sized chunks, right?
Little by little.
Most certainly. If we have big dreams, we have to pursue them daily and take steps towards them daily. And eventually they'll become a reality, but it doesn't happen in one day, people. Lisa, tell us about your company. Tell us about your career. Tell us about what you have to offer.
I've been in Miami for 23 years and with my company for 15 years. My company is called Consultree, and the name comes from the fact that we believe that we can go into companies and offer the companies an array of services in human resources, talent and leadership development, and coaching. So basically what we do is that we support companies with whatever human resources needs or strategy they may have.
Most certainly. And sometimes they have it within themselves, yes? Because you use the word develop. Sometimes when we go into any given store or talk to any given business person, they're trying to offer us something that we need. But you're telling me that maybe we have what we need within us, but we need to develop it.
That's for sure. The talent is there. The companies are there trying to sell and thriving. Let's say that we help them develop better talent, have better teams, form more positive cultures.
I see. Sometimes we say that we're working as a team, but what we are really doing is working as a group. What is the difference between working as a team and working as a group?
When you work in a team, everyone is coordinated toward the same objective, and everyone knows when and how to contribute to the benefit of the project, of the goal, of the team. When you work in a group, you can have more individualistic approach to your contribution. You don't really value your contribution with the team. You value your individual contribution. I've done it, it's there, it's done. I don't have anything else to do. When you work in a team, you really look at over your shoulder at the next person to see how you can help. And the other person should be doing that. And all of you should be meeting. All of you should be agreeing on the goal.
Most certainly.
On the objectives, on how to do it, how to make it better for all of us to complete this project and get the company going forward for the benefit of the company and for our own benefit. So it's working together.
So you have a wide diversity within a team, but there's a unity of vision and a unity of purpose. Sometimes we see people walking in groups. When I was a teenager, I maybe hung out with the people that looked like me, that like reading the same books that I like reading, that watched the same movies I watched. And there was kind of a uniformity in that group. But then as I developed as a professional, I started working as a team with people that were very different than me, but that had a common purpose. And everybody had a sense of ownership.
Again, it's up to the leader of that team to make sure that the common purpose It's clear to everyone. It's well established. And then that takes us back to culture. It's up to the leader to make sure that he or she establishes a culture of excellence in performance. A culture where everyone is it's given the chance to perform at his or her best.
I see. And how would you define performance?
Performance is it's being able to achieve our goals to the best of our abilities.
Using X amount of time and space
Performance is accountability.
is accountability.
It's
Okay.
being accountable for what we understand is our mission and how that mission relates to the mission and vision of the company. It's finding that connection. Excellence in performance is finding that connection between you as an individual, your team, and the mission and vision of the company.
Most certainly. I'll tell you a story about what I have experienced throughout my career. You know that I used to be a financial advisor. As a matter of fact, I was your financial advisor. And now you are coaching me in this area of leadership and development. Life is amazing, people. But as I had conversations with clients, they would share their heart sometimes. And they would tell me, Jonathan, I'm working an extra 20 hours a week, and I'm making 30% more of what I used to. They were performing better in terms of dollars and cents. Their production was up there. But those additional 20 hours a week that they were working were compromising their stability.
Well,
at the
they were
level of their
performing better.
spirituality.
They were performing better at work, and life is about balance. So when we look at performance, you have to look at performance, like I was telling you before when we said hello. You have to look at your performance as a father, your performance as a supervisor, or as an employee, your performance with yourself, and find that balance. So it's not about selling more or taking more vacations. It's about finding that balance in your life. That's true success.
I see. And how do we keep those things in check? Because everybody's interested in balance.
Again, by becoming conscious of what you can do better. We were also talking about perfectionism, remember?
Yes.
And although it sounds nice, I'm a perfectionist, in reality, when you're a perfectionist, you're a very controlling person. You tend to be micromanager. So when we admit that part of ourselves and change and allow people, and we delegate more effectively, then perfection arises.
I see. Interesting. So we shouldn't engage in the paralysis of analysis. We have to decide. Because even if we decide not to decide, we still have to decide not to decide.
Again, it's a balance. It's a balance. It's all about balance. You cannot make decisions without the proper analysis. You cannot take forever analyzing to make a decision.
Most certainly.
So again, how do you accomplish that? By becoming aware. How do you become aware? By working with a coach.
Most certainly.
And that coach is going to lead you into becoming aware of the aspects of your leadership style and your personality that you can transform. It's all about transformation and change. Again, so once you're aware and you want to change and you want to transform yourself, you will achieve that.
Einstein used to say that life is like a bicycle. We have to keep on moving in order to keep the balance. Would you agree with that? Sometimes we engage in the paralysis of analysis and we stop and we collapse. I think that we have to keep on moving and eventually, what we want will kick in.
I totally agree with that. When people talk about depression, I'm not talking about clinical depression, I'm talking just regular depression. There's so much to do. Depression for me is a lack of activity in a healthy person. And I relate that to your moving. Move. There's so many things to do. Go take a Bible class, take a dancing class, take a walk, read a book, focus better on accomplishing your goals at work. So
Most certainly.
movement is a great analysis to attach to performance.
So take note, people. In this holiday season, don't sit down and be a couch potato. Move. Go to that Zumba class. Go to that Bible class, as Luisa rightly pointed out, and move. And move not only physically, but intellectually and spiritually and emotionally in the right direction. Because it doesn't make sense to run fast and run vigorously in the wrong direction. We have to have directionality in what has to do with our decision making and what has to do with our goals and everything. How do we establish directionality? And that's my last question with regards to this subject.
How do we establish?
Directionality. Because sometimes we're very fit, okay? Intellectually, in terms of our preparation, but we lack direction. We don't know where to implement that energy and that strength that
Well,
we have accumulated.
that is a really important question, because lacking direction is not knowing what your purpose is in life. So if you want to find where you are going, try to find out what you're here for. Are you here to be the best cook in town? Are you here to be the best leader of a manufacturing company? Find that really makes you tick, that makes you happy. Don't go to work for money. Go to work for what you like, and the money will come.
Most certainly.
So finding
and everybody
that
should aspire to be the best?
the best within what you can. What define what best is for you and be that.
Okay.
The best without comparing yourself to anybody else. What is the best you can be for yourself, for your family, for those people around you? And eventually, finding that is going to take you to be the best for your community and for your country.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I like that. Be the best within your area of purpose. In other words, do not compete, do not compare, but be. Luisa, tell us, how can our audience continue to drink from that fountain of wisdom that you represent?
Yes, you can write to me or call me at the 305-358-8822. You can access our website at consultree.com or write to me at luisa.guzman@consultree.com.
And you're also on Twitter, right? At Consultree, is it?
At Consultree and
Twitter.
at Luisa Guzman, where I share a lot of my daily spiritual findings and leadership thoughts.
Beautiful. This is a never-ending process of discovery. I remember when I was in my first sales training, just as I graduated from university in 2008, a colleague of mine said the following to me: Jonathan, good, better, best, never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. Don't move. We will be right back with some concepts and principles that will actually aid you in fulfilling your business goals in 2014. Don't move. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to this, your program, Business Intelligence. We've been talking about very interesting topics: leadership, development, human resources, taking agency in what has to do with your growth. And in this final segment of our program, I would like to speak about two concepts. And then I will make reference to something that is taking place at the political level in the United States. But I want to speak about voice and echo. We can decide either to have a voice in our society or merely echo what others say. Sometimes when we hear people complain about certain situation, we merely repeat such complaints instead of processing the information and articulating our assessment of what has been articulated. You see, I like to point out to the book of Genesis. In the beginning, it says in Genesis chapter 1, everything was void and formless. And God then created order through the power of His word. He said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And since I believe that we were made in the likeness and image of God, I believe also that as we articulate our voice, we have the ability to bring things into existence. But we have to be able to articulate our voice in an intelligent fashion. Because if we speak mindlessly, the things that we materialize in our midst can be detrimental unto our best interest. And if we articulate our voice, that voice has the capacity of creating new and better things. If we merely echo what others have said, we're not really creating anything new. We're just repeating what others have said. And what others have said might have been in correspondence with our best interest, our growth, our development. It might have not been. But the fact of the matter is that we human beings are designed to add value. We are, if you will, we have within us a photosynthetic mechanism. Our hearts, our minds, our spirits have the capacity to transform good things into better things, and better things into best things, if you will. But we have to internalize what life throws at us and not merely take it for granted. It's been said that if life throws you lemons, we should make a lemonade. But in order to make a lemonade, we have to be industrious and take the lemons and cut them in half, find some water, find some sugar, and then mix. That is what I mean by articulating your voice. If you just, take the lemons that life throws at you, you can end up being hurt, because lemons can actually cause some brain damage if they are thrown with enough strength at you. So add value to that which you encounter along the way to success. And in the spirit of internalizing things and processing information, I have to point out something that has been taking place here in the United States and what has to do with health care. As we all know, Obamacare came into effect, and the website has been up and running, or not really running, maybe falling. Because to tell you the truth, as you all know, the website is not that user-friendly. After hundreds of millions of dollars that have been invested in the implementation of the technological platform that would serve as a basis for the launching of Obamacare, the thing doesn't work as it should be working. And that is, I'm sorry, unacceptable. Hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer money? So many years planning for the execution of this plan, and then it just doesn't work? Well, the fact of the matter is that government doesn't have that good of a history in handling big projects such as this one. We've spoken in this program before about the nature of externalities and how externalities need to be internalized. And an externality, by way of review, is something that is not taken into full consideration by the forces of supply and demand, and therefore need be internalized by public policy. Such is the case with health. We all want our neighbors, our co-workers, to be healthy. But we are not necessarily willing to invest in our neighbor's health. Therefore, the government, the public sector, internalizes that externality by way of subsidies, by way of rules and regulations. Now, I believe that the problem of having health as an externality that has been neglected for many years in this country could have been handled in a more efficient and effective fashion. Maybe by virtue of creating a system whereby the private sector could work in tandem with the public sector in a more complementary and synergistic way, rather than the government taking over the whole thing. President Obama said that if you liked your health care plan, you could actually keep it. It turns out that you can't. And if the government throws a hamburger at you, you have to eat the hamburger, even though you don't eat hamburgers. Maybe you're a vegetarian, but what the government is putting before you is a hamburger, and you're going to have to eat it because the government has taken over the whole thing. I think that's not the philosophy upon which this country was founded. I think that we, as intelligent individuals that we are, want options. We want to have the wherewithal to decide what is in our best interest. But regrettably so, I think that our public sector oftentimes takes advantage of the fact that even if we decide not to decide, we still have to decide not to decide, and in this case, the government has decided for us. That's unacceptable. I would encourage you, whether you're Republican or Democrat or Independent, to voice your concern and demand what you deserve. And we deserve nothing but what is in correspondence with the best interests of this generation and the ones to come. Thank you very much for watching Business Intelligence on a weekly basis through this network to network. My name is Jonathan Diolio. Looking forward to seeing you next time. God bless you.